Today I'll be talking with Tony Hsieh, author of Delivering Happiness and CEO of one of America's top 10 places to work and one of America's favorite places to shop, Zappos.com. Under Tony's leadership, Zappos has grown from 1 million to over 1 billion in sales revenue, all while building and developing a company culture based on happiness. Hello, I'm Jim Canfield, CEO of Renaissance Executive Forums, and I'd like to welcome you to Strategies for Success 2012. I'm really happy to be with Tony Hsieh today, author of Delivering Happiness and CEO of Zappos.com. Welcome, Tony.
Thanks for having me.
So, Tony, Zappos was not your first successful company. You built Link Exchange from a company that was literally a startup to one that Microsoft paid over $200 million for. What were lessons that you learned that you wanted to make sure that you repeated when you built Zappos? And what were some of those lessons that you wanted to make sure you didn't repeat at Zappos?
So Link Exchange, I co-founded with a college roommate back in 1996. And this was during the first .com boom. And we grew that to about 100 people over 2.5 years and ended up selling the company to Microsoft. But what a lot of people don't know is the real reason why we ended up selling the company. And the real reason is because it just ended up not being a fun place to work at anymore, and the company culture just went completely downhill. I remember when it was just 5 or 10 of us, it was kind of your typical .com. We were working around the clock, sleeping under our desks, had no idea what day of the week it was, but it was a lot of fun, and as we started growing, really exciting. But we just didn't know any better to pay attention to company culture, and not everyone we hired was necessarily great for the culture. So by the time we got to 100 people, I myself dreaded getting out of bed to go to my own company, which was definitely a weird feeling. And I was thinking, if I felt that way, I wondered how the other employees felt. So that's really what led us to sell the company. And shortly after the sale, I left the company. The other co-founder left the company. Most of the early employees actually left all within a few months. But we got super lucky with the timing. It was during the .com boom, and so with Zappos, my original involvement was originally as an investor and advisor. I had actually invested in a whole bunch of different internet companies, and realized actually during that time that investing was kind of boring for me. I really felt like I was sitting on the sidelines and missed being part of building something. So out of all the investments that we had made, Zappos was both the most fun and interesting, so I joined Zappos full-time within a year. And with Zappos, from the beginning, culture was always important. Definitely did not want to repeat that same mistake again. And kind of the criteria that we used for interviewing people was, is this someone that I would choose to be around even if we weren't forced to be in the same office together? And so that's kind of continued and evolved over the years. In 2005, we actually said, rather than just say culture is important, let's actually make it the #1 priority of the company, with the belief that if we get the culture right, then most of the other stuff like delivering great customer service or building a long-term enduring brand or business will just be a natural byproduct of that. And so when we interview people now, we actually do 2 sets of interviews. The hiring manager and his or her team will interview for kind of the standard stuff, looking for fit within the team, relevant experience, technical ability, and so on. But then our HR department does a separate set of interviews purely for culture fit, and they have to pass both in order to be hired. So we've passed on a lot of really smart, talented people that we know can make an immediate impact on our top or bottom line, but if they're bad for our culture, we won't hire them.